everyone, welcome to Untitled Astrology. This is Rajni. So today's topic is slightly different. I decided to make this video on the request of one of my clients to make this video on what Sade Sati is all about, what it means. So I'll try and explain as simple as possible without using any serious astrological terms, so that at the end of the video, you will know what is Sade Sati is all about and how to handle Sade Sati in your life, if at all, or when it happens. I'll explain in 4 different sections in this video in a very simple format as to how to calculate Sade Sati as per Vedic Astrology. Then I will cover the positive and negative aspects of Sade Sati. And in the third part, I will explain how to understand the 3 different phases of Sade Sati. And at the end of the video, I will provide you with some simple remedies. But before I go further, I'd like to request all the new people who are visiting my channel for the first time to please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. That means a lot to me. And also don't forget to hit the bell icon so that any new videos I post, you will be notified of that right away. So what does Sade Sati means? So let's now understand that first. Now, Saturn Sade Sati. Sade means half, and Sat means 7 in Hindi. So it means Saturn's 7.5 years. Now, generally, this Sade Sati will come around twice or maximum thrice in one's life, depending on one's length of life. Now, all we need to know is there are 12 zodiac signs, and Saturn will take 2.5 years to transit each zodiac sign. That means Saturn will take roughly 30 years to transit one cycle of the entire 12 zodiac signs. Now, Saturn will station itself in one zodiac for 2.5 years. That's all you need to remember. So you see, there are so many myths and contradictory things people generally talk about when they talk about Sade Sati. Now, some astrologers have even put some deep fears in our minds, and people think that when Sade Sati happens in their life, they are bound to be doomed. But I want to let you know that Sade Sati is nothing to be feared about. If you understand properly what is Sade Sati, then you will be able to handle it intelligently, and I will say you will emerge victorious and as a strong individual once you go through or complete the Sade Sati period. Yes, there are some people who may be impacted deeply during Sade Sati period, and yet there are some people who have reached great heights in their career or in their life during the Sade Sati period. So we have both sides of the coin. Now, Sade Sati is seen from the moon sign in a chart. Now, why moon? Now, moon plays a key role in determining when Sade Sati will start in one's life. Now, moon is your mind, your emotions, your happiness. Now, it's also a perception of reality. Now, moon is a reflection of your own identity, if you will. Moon also defines the outcome of your karma or deeds that you do. So if your mind is not stable and is distressed, it affects the way you think, the way you take decisions in your life path. Now, if your moon is weak, then the decisions you make could go wrong. Whereas if your moon is strong, then you're able to endure any hardship, and you are generally a happy-go-lucky person in any given situation. You're able to handle things very nicely. Now, you will be able to take intelligent decisions when your moon is strong. So moon is the key determinant in Sade Sati. Now, we also know that Saturn represents our karma, the work we do. And when Saturn transits through our moon, natal moon, it shows how we are going to be feeling. Saturn, as we all know, is a lord of supreme justice, and Saturn is also considered a strict disciplinarian, if you will. So generally, how bad the impact will be on a person will depend upon how Saturn and Moon, they both are related to each other in the birth chart. So many factors in the chart will determine the type of impact you will experience during your Sadesati. So are the Moon and Saturn sitting together in a chart, that is conjunct in a chart? Are they aspecting each other in the chart? Is there any benefic aspect on them in the chart? Which Mahadasha or time period is one currently running? Is it the Dasha of the Lord of the 6th, 8th, or the 12th house, the Dusthana houses, or is it the Dasha of the trine houses, which are the 1st, 5th, 5th, and the 9th houses? And the degrees of both Saturn and Moon plays a big role, how close or far they are to each other. So there are so many factors which will determine the impact of Sadesati in one's life. So you cannot just stereotype and generalize that Sadesati means it will only be bad. I just wanted you to know that. So why 7.5 years, you may ask? Now, let us look at an example chart. I'll explain to you with an example chart. When Saturn transits the house before where the Moon is placed in the chart, that is the first phase of Sadesati. After 2.5 years, when Saturn will move over the natal Moon, that is the second 2.5 years. And when Saturn will move into the second position from your natal Moon, that is the third phase. So 2.5, 2.5, 2.5 years, a total of 7.5 years. So they say that generally the first phase of Sadesati affects your mother or father. The second phase affects your own career or your personal life. And anything to do with your life, it could affect your marital life if you're married, or any committed relationship, I should say. Then the third phase, it is said that it could affect your own health. So when Saturn transits 12th house from where Moon is placed, that is the first phase of the 2.5 years of Sadesati. Now, 12th house is our subconscious level of mind. Now, Saturn, when it first enters the house, which is 12th from the Moon, Saturn carefully observes your plans, your emotions, and your thoughts. Now, Saturn will then want to change your thinking, change the way you behave, and Saturn wants to teach you some good lessons to improve you as a person in this first phase. Now, Saturn's transit from the Moon is considered good in 3rd, 6th, and the 11th house from the Moon. So before the period when Saturn moved to the 12th from the Moon, when it was transiting the 11th from the Moon, well, you may have experienced that everything was going very well for you. You were getting good gain through your career. You may have experienced that all your dreams and goals, you were able to fulfill it quickly. But suddenly one day you see when Sadesati period started, you started experiencing delay in the way you fulfilled your dreams, or you started experiencing some limitations in the gain you're getting. So what happened? So this is the time when Saturn has moved in the 12th position from your Moon, bringing that delay and limitations in the game. Now you started to feel the boundary laid by Saturn in the pattern of your thinking, restricting the way you think, causing your mind to fear because of the sudden limitations imposed by Saturn during the first phase of the Sadesati, that is. So Sadesati will cause that fear in your mind and could affect you psychologically. But Sadesati does not affect you physically, actually. It just affects you psychologically, and the physical effects is only because of the psychological pressure you go through. Now, it is because of the psychological fear of your mind say if your mind is agitated, you may end up taking wrong decisions, and due to stress, some illness could be caused, or you may take a wrong financial decision because of your unstable mind to cause you to lose money and go into poverty. This is just a scenario. I'm giving you an example. Now, if your moon and Saturn are well placed, you could go through Sade Sati and yet not feel any of the adverse effects. You could experience financial loss, but that may be due to the charity you donated to, or because charity means it's for a good cause ultimately. Or you may have moved some money from your pocket to do some serious investment, which could eventually give you a good ROI. Now, it's only when Moon and Saturn are not well placed, then you may be impacted with adverse results. Now, you may end up spending money on hospitalization, or maybe spend money on the health of either you or one of your family members. So that is when Moon is not very well placed. So there's a reason why one is born with a certain ascendant or lagna, and you are given a unique placement of planetary positions in your chart. So based on how the planets are placed in your chart, the planets are going to either give you good results or bad results. We all know that. But how you feel when the planets give you good results, or how you feel when the planets give you bad results, will be experienced based on the state of the moon in your chart, how well it is placed in your chart. Now, moon is the window or a medium through how we feel about the good or bad results we experience. So if moon is weak, we feel more pressure because of the inability to cope psychologically or be able to face those challenges. I would say no one soul is immune to sadesati. Irrespective of what sign you are, Saturn will give you results of your karma or deeds. No one can escape that. Now, one thing is for sure, Saturn is going to make you strong mentally, psychologically, and is going to make you face the reality at the end of sadesati anyways. So the best way to deal with sadesati is when you know you're going to enter into this period, I would say be prepared, develop a mindset that you're ready to learn the hard lessons that Saturn is going to throw in front of you. You could develop a feeling of a surrender with a warrior type of mindset to be ready to face the challenge that comes your way. Be ready or willing to change the way you think if you have to, adjust to the new situation willingly. That's how you cope with it. So let us talk about the first phase of 2.5 years. If Saturn is weak in your chart, then you could experience loss in your finance. You may not be able to save money that you normally would. You could face some health challenges. Luck and fortune may not favor you when you need it. But if Saturn is strong in your chart, you may experience money depleting from your bank account due to a charity that you gave money to for a good cause, that you may have given for a good cause, which is really not a financial loss. Luck and fortune, although it may not support you 100%, you will not be devoid of luck and fortune. There'll be some luck and fortune that you can take help from. Your health challenges may be very small, like simple headaches or a small bruise, which is actually nothing. So if this is when your Saturn is strong. Now, the second phase of the 2.5 years, when Saturn is transiting right over your birth moon, that is considered to be the most intense phase of all the three. Now, if your Saturn is weak in your birth chart, Saturn could cause you some great stress. You may have to run around unnecessarily, and even after that, you may not get the results of your hard work. Now, Saturn could cause some delay. Saturn could create some phobia, if you may, create psychological distress. And any initiatives you take during that period, most likely that could end up a failure if Saturn is weak. It could also bring some disturbance in your committed relationships. One may feel that their spouse or partner is not that supportive the way they used to be during the, especially during the Sade Sati period. And you may come across a situation where the very people you helped them in the past, those people before, they have now turned against you. So these types of situations would generally arise during that second phase of the period. But if your Saturn is strong, although you would face the same situations I talked about earlier, you'll be able to handle those various situations in a very controlled fashion. You may not feel the intensity of its adverse effect that much, and you will skate through easily, I would say, without much stress. The final and the third phase, by now you have experienced Saturn's impact on you for the past 5 years. You've experienced that last 5 years. So if you have learned the hard lessons that Saturn tried to teach you in the past 5 years, or like 5 years, of course, yeah, the third phase will be less impactful, I would say. So if you have learned the lessons, Saturn will ensure that your happiness around your home is restored. Any transformation you will need to go through will be less of a rough transformation, I would say, less of a rough experience. It will be rather an easier transformation. Your ability to fulfill your dreams and goals will be better done than how the past 5 years had been. But at the same time, if you had not learned your lessons in the past 5 years, say, during the Sade Sati period, the first 5 years, then things will turn out to be a bit more difficult in the final phase. You could experience sorrow in your home environment, problems with your property matters. Sometimes you may find the period of the transformation quite hard, and you may struggle to go through with the transformation. Your dreams and goals will seem like a sheer impossible task to achieve, and you may ask that what happened here, and you may not have the energy to pursue any of your dreams. Now, I'll talk about remedies. The best remedy, as I said earlier, is to prepare yourself before your Sade Sati period starts, and be willing to change your thinking pattern, and be willing to quickly adapt to the new situations that could arise. I would say have an attitude of surrender, and be willing to learn the lessons that Saturn will bring your way. Sade Sati will make you so strong at the end of the 7.5 years that you will end up emerging a stronger person than before, and have that confidence to achieve even impossible tasks that you may not even have imagined. That's what happens when you go through Sade Sati and emerge victorious. You'll be a very strong person. You see, Saturn represents old age, longevity, servants, and people who are deprived, I would say. Now, if you want to please Saturn, then the best thing is to volunteer your time helping old-aged people, donate to poor people, help out people who cannot take care of themselves. Treat your servants well and with respect. Don't make fun of old and poor people, especially. So if you have any broken electronic items in your household, which is not in a working condition, a broken one, then don't keep it around, just throw it away, discard it, get rid of the broken equipment. I would say avoid any type of addiction habits, especially during the Sade Sati period. If not, you could get into the bad habits so deep that it may be impossible to come out at a later stage. And if you're able to chant Hanuman Chalisa, the mantra, daily, that will help too. There is, of course, so much more to cover about Sade Sati, but the video will turn out to be so very long. So I think I will just stop here and hope I was able to explain in simple terms what is Sade Sati. And I hope I made it easy for you to understand. So folks, there is nothing to fear about the word Sade Sati at all. I sincerely hope you have a wonderful and a very meaningful life journey. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.